Hey everyone. Like I said a couple days ago, I guess a day or two ago at this point, I wanted to make a video like Zelcor's Fizz tutorial on TF because he is probably my favorite champion right now. He's definitely my most played this season, and I think he's a really good champion to learn in solo queue, especially because TF thrives in a game where there's little communication between players on the same team, and a lot of times you'll see players will forget there's a TF on the team. When you leave lane, mid laners won't call MIA on you until you run halfway down the lane and you're within ult range. So I think TFs can be really effective, especially at lower elos too, because I feel like lower elo players are even less likely to communicate at all with each other in positive ways. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about the rune page and mastery page that I had on for this game. This is a Smurf account that I use, but the rune pages are pretty standard. Hybrid marks, scaling health, seals. I think I have scaling AP glyphs because I don't have flat AP glyphs on this account, and I have movement speed quints. The mastery page is your standard 2190 that you'll find on most AP mages. So we're going to scroll ahead a little bit to get started. Generally, in 90% of the games that I play, I do run. Let's see if I can pop this out here. That helps a little bit. Generally, the games that I do play, I do run, I do buy Doran's Ring 2 pots first. I'd say probably about 90% of the time that's what I start, unless I'm playing against like the rare Pantheon mid where I might go with Cloth 5, or if I'm playing against like something like Cat or something with who I know is going to start Boots too, I might start Boots just so I'm not getting outraced in trades and stuff like that. But generally, Doran with 2 pots is pretty standard start. And I just remembered now that when I was talking about the mastery page before, I said 21.9. It's actually 21.09. I just saw the biscuit and realized that. So in this lane, I'm going to be laning against LeBlanc now. LeBlanc was a counter pick to me. She picked it after me, and it's probably one of TF's hardest matchups, to be honest. You have no mobility, and she has 1 jump, pre-6, possible 2 jumps after she hits her ult. So what I want to do, what you see me do here is, I always like to start by pushing the wave a little bit because I never want to have them get level 2 first. So what I'm doing now is I'm pushing the wave a little bit, trying to get some auto attacks in, and trying to harass with the red card whenever possible. That's the perfect example right there. She walked up for an auto attack on a minion, and she got red card for a little bit of damage. So right now, just pretty standard, just laning, trying to pick blue cards as much as possible when I'm not picking red cards, obviously to keep your mana up. But I am respecting, or at least trying to respect her ability to harass there. So you see, I ate a QW combo, and I tried to answer back with a little bit of poke. Trading with LeBlanc early game is very difficult. Generally, you don't want to try to trade, but you have to. It's one of those things where you have to kind of balance out what your health resource is worth to pay based on how much CS you're getting. Like for example, right there, she knew I wanted to step up for that cannon minion, right? So she was waiting for me, and I took quite a bit of damage there for that cannon minion, but I don't know. I feel like early game, I mean, you're gonna get harassed out of the way, and I feel like fighting over a canyon menu like that, if I do get it, is probably worth it. So we're still trading back and forth. At this point, I'm out of potions now, and I think I'm just gonna head back. Yeah. Again, most of the time I always go double Doran's Wing on TF, partly for the little extra bit of tankiness, and I feel like it kind of helps smooth out the early game. Like if I wasn't gonna go double Doran's Wing, I probably would have bought like an Amp Tome and boots, maybe, if I could afford it, or maybe just boots and more pots. But I feel like the double Doran's Ring gives you a little bit of tankiness, gives you a little bit extra magic, or excuse me, mana regen too. So what I'm going to do right now is just whittle down this wave a little bit so I don't miss too many when it goes to tower. And I actually think I end up picking up everyone in the CS. See, now one of the mistakes that she makes right now, and I missed the cannon, that was a mistake on me. One of the mistakes that she makes now, and I see it a lot, is that she had kind of a lane advantage because she did force me out of the lane, so she got a little bit of extra experience. She's level 5 right now to my level 4, but she didn't back, and I think in that case it would have been better to just shove the lane and then back with more items than I would have, because she would have a little more CS. But she didn't back. Now she stays in lane. Now if she would back now, like she should, she would miss even more CS, and I'd get to level 6 and be able to gank a lane before she ever got back to lane. But she chose to stay around, and I don't really understand. Now there, she saved her W for that trade. I missed two different sets of wild cards there. Either one would have killed her. The first one's a little more understandable because she was using W at the time, but the second one, I probably should have hit one of those. Sejuani comes to kind of gank a whole lane. Now, this LeBlanc still isn't backing. I don't really understand why. She's at really, really low health, and she should have backed, like I said, she should have backed when I backed, and she didn't. Now, Sejuani stayed around, and Eve's going to come in for a gank here, so you're going to see... You're going to see a 2 for 0 here. So Sejuani ganks me. I see LeBlanc coming in. I throw Qs because I know that she's going to either jump in or keep walking that direction. And at this point, I think that I would have eventually caught up to Sejuani for the gold card kill because Eve did have red buff. But she's just going to pick it up right there. And now this lane's a lot easier at this point. I feel pretty good because I do have a kill and an assist over LeBlanc, and not only that, but because she didn't back, and because even before that the double kill happened there, she was letting me bully her a lot. She lost like a lot of CS, and yeah, right now it's 42 to 29 in CS, and I think I also have will obviously have experience advantage over her, so I'm gonna have experience item advantage over her. So she took like an early lead, and she kind of just squandered it by being greedy and trying to stay longer than she should have. So now that we're 6, big part of TF, right? The alt. I'm constantly, when I'm going to lane, especially when I back come out of lane. Mids are less likely to call MIA on you if you were backing to when you left lane. So when I'm running back to lane, I'm constantly checking top and bottom to see if anyone's low or if there's like a gank opportunity. Right there, LeBlanc did run bot and getting for a kill. I was considering ulting down there, but by the time it happened, it was to the point where I don't think I could have stopped her from getting a kill, and I probably would have just wasted my ults. So I just let her kill it. I pushed the lane up, made her miss CS as much as possible. So now I'm looking bottom for a gank right now. I see Eve's there. I'm gonna sit in this bush so because I know they don't have vision there. And I'm gonna go in, put a gold card onto Quinn, and they're gonna be able to pick up Vel'Koz right here. So Twitch does get the double kill, and I think that we're gonna not only we're gonna get the double kill off this, but we're also going to make a dragon out of this too. And I mean, this is just the perfect example of why I think TF is so good in solo queue. Is just, I mean, the bot was pushed up, right? The bot was pushed up further than they should have been, and Eve saw me walk out of lane, or at least should have saw me walk out of lane. So either she didn't say anything, or bot lane didn't respond to it. I'm not sure, but I mean, we just got Twitch double kill, and now I think that they're going to be very in charge of this lane. But the offset to that is that I did have a 42 to 29 CS lead, and now I only have I think 48 to, I think it was 42. But by the time I get that lane, it will be even. So when you gank, you do lose some lane pressure. That's why it's important to try to push the lane before you gank, just to try to miss as little CS as possible. But that is the trade-off that you kind of have to live with when you play TF. Now at this point, LeBlanc does have a Fiendish Codex. She does have blue buff, so her trading potential is going to be really like almost limitless. Like, her mana isn't a thing to her. So I'm playing very, very passive at this point. She's gonna make a pretty bad play mistake right here. She takes a Q there, which is bad of her. She takes another one, and I'm gonna stun card her under tower. She's gonna take two now. She's actually gonna aggro the. I watched this once before because I didn't know exactly what happened. She aggroed the cannon minion right there, and I wasn't in kill range when I flashed, but I think if I would have flashed and healed and ran towards her a little bit, I would have gotten an auto attack off on her if she didn't have another jump. And the main reason I even did that was because she had blue buff, and it made me a little bit greedy because I did want to get that blue buff, but unfortunately it did run out like literally like a second before she died, so I didn't get it anyway. So I'm gonna make a pretty bad mistake right here. I'm going to overextend because I think I can get this tower, but she's kind of actually gonna come back in the lane a lot sooner than I thought, and I'm gonna get caught out and die. That's a pretty bad mistake by me. It's about as free of a kill as you can give. It's just not being aware of, you know, how quickly she can get back to lane. She probably could use her W jump and her all jump when she first spawns, and then have it up by the time she gets back to lane. I think like when you have a little bit of CDR early. Nevertheless, still sitting at 2-1-3, still have CS advantage over her, so I'm not feeling too bad. I choose to go from the Morellos first. I started with the Phoenix Codex because it gives you a little bit better trading potential, better wave clear, and if you want to go into the Athena's Unholy Grail, like if I felt like I was getting bullied around too much, I could have went with the Athena's Unholy Grail. But I prefer Morellos just because it's more damage, and I like the passive on it too. So here we go again. I'm gonna go down for a gank. I'm gonna get a stun card off on Quinn, and then they're gonna keep running down. Now notice one of the big things when you play TF, because your main damage spell is your W, like especially like late game, it's important to you that you almost play TF a little bit like an AD carry. You wanna kite as you're throwing spells. So when I threw that spell, I instantly started to run bots, so that I knew as soon as my gold card was up again, or as soon as my big card was up again, that I could throw it again. You never want to be in a position where you're just sitting like a mage and just sitting still and like throwing spells. You need to like make sure you're moving along with who you're trying to kill. So Clint's actually going to land a good snipe there. Now, in this situation, I feel like, and we can go. I want to go back for a second because I feel like I move forward to stun card this Vel'Koz, which I might have been just better to just walk out. The stun card was already pulled at the time, so I was almost just tempted why not throw it? Yeah. But my team was healthy enough. Now, if my team would have backed, I think we could have easily just turned on this. They kind of waited a second. They kind of waited until Quinn got all the way to me and started attacking me. If they would have just backed, I don't think we were in tower range there. It ends up being a 2-for-1 or a 2 for, at least a 1-for-1. If no, I guess it was a 2-for-1 anyway. But I don't know. I was a little bit overextended there. So at this point, I'm going for my Lichbane second. I just prefer going Lichbane second, and I know it's probably not optimal. I'm pretty sure that you get more like survivability out of Zhonya's Hourglass instead, but I just like having the extra damage because I feel like it lets your ganks be like for sure kills. I don't know. If I was worried too much, I could see myself going for Zhonya's second, and I do go Zhonya's second sometimes, but in this case I just kinda went with the or am going for the Lichbane. So now we hit this area in the early mid game where my tower's done, my ult's up. I'm basically going to just try to keep vision control, try to keep my wave pushed so that LeBlanc doesn't roam out, and just kind of wait for a counter gank opportunity. I'm going to wait until their jungler ganks a lane and try to be there to follow up the gank. I still have to be kind of weary of LeBlanc because she is strong enough to just 1v1 me. Now I missed my wild cards there too. I think her jump stopped me. It might have been better just to go on Vel'Koz there because Clit did have his alt on her, alt chain on her, and it seemed like that was the way Twitch was turning. But I kind of thought that Eve was just going to be able to blow up Vel'Koz because she was pretty fed this game. I feel like we could have got 2 and we only got 1. Clint does get caught out there. She was coming out of no vision, so it was... He could have taken a little bit of a safer route back to lane. But again, at this point, like I said, I mean, we're just gonna keep farming. We're gonna keep the wave pushed. I have 103 CS. TF passive gives you on average 4 CS per minion. So that's an extra 400 gold at this point in the game, which is it's really nice. It is really nice. It lets you hit your like items sooner. I see that I'm like 50 gold away from Lich Bane, so I'm gonna go farm these raptors real quick and back for that. Now I probably should have upgraded my trinket a lot sooner. It's just one of those things that kind of like slips your mind to do, but generally that would have been like the back. I probably should have farmed a little more before I backed and got the trinket, but I was actually, when I was there, my pink ward was still down. My pink ward is in the entrance to River by Dragon, so, and I figured that that's still a good pink ward for at least for a little bit longer, so I just decided not to upgrade my trinket right then. Again, it could be wrong to do that. So my ult's up again. Like I said, I'm pushing this wave out right now. And I'm looking up, and it's a little bit, I don't know, it can be frustrating to try to gank a champion like LeBlanc, because the fact that she can just jump right out of range. So I was hesitant to use ult right there. So I'm just going to keep pushing for now. So at this point, Eve's legendary. I don't know what Twitch is currently, but Twitch is pretty fed as well. And again, I mean, I can rewind I can roll back the tape, you know, and you know, show what all happened, like what did all happen. But it happened from the early ganks, and I see that Vel'Koz's low. I was able to go on her right there. You know, if we roll back, why did it happen? Well, it happened because I got Twitch fed early, got him the double kill bot lane. He was able to snowball the laner, help snowball any from that. That Eve kill early, that wasn't really off a gank, but it was just off of like a you know, the 2v2 outplay. But she did also pick up some kills bot whenever I did gank there. So. And assists as well. So, like I said, this is just the perfect example of a game where, you know, I'm 4-2-8. It's not the most flashy score, but E's 11-4. Twitch is 6-1-4. You know, it's one of those situations where, I mean, perhaps they would have, had I not been TF and just sat in lane and not ganked, maybe they make a bad play, fall behind, something like that, and you lose that game. You know, it's one of those things that I was, you know, even though if I'm not carrying, I was like the catalyst that caused the game to start snowballing in our favor, which is kind of the way you have to like look at it when you play TF. So at this point, my wave clear is very good. Obviously, I can clear the whole wave, and just the red card on the melees, and Q clears all the casters. So she's gonna flash, and she's going to use her jumps. I'm unsure if I would have landed that auto attack with the Lich Bane proc and the E proc. I'm unsure if I would have actually killed, but nevertheless, we're gonna catch Vel'Koz out right there. I don't know why LeBlanc stayed. She just basically fed a kill. Another thing that can't be it can't be underappreciated is that TF's does have great wave clear. So not only when you do ganks like that, not only do you get kills, get kills, but you also can get the objective pretty quickly. So at this point, Eve's 12-1, Twitch is 9-1. It's just it is a matter of not throwing it at this point. I probably should have upgraded the trinket at some point. I still forgot to do that. But still, I mean, my focus right now is still the same. I'm still gonna keep the waves pushed. I hope get vision. I had to ult up there. I could have teleported up there, but it was already a 3v1. I didn't think it was gonna work out, so I just kind of let it go and went back to shoving mid. I would say that that's also important. Knowing when to ult's important, but knowing when not to ult, like knowing whenever you're just not going to get anything and not using ult, that's important as well. Like for example, if I would have just ulted bot really early in the game whenever LeBlanc ganked for that kill, I probably wouldn't have got anything, and then I wouldn't have had it for the couple seconds later whenever I ulted and got the double kill. Now, I was hoping that Sejuani was gonna run the long way around, so that I could gank her as she was running around the tower, but she had her charge up. This is almost like garbage time anyway. I would say it's nearly impossible for a team to come back once it gets to this point where one team's just so much stronger. Like not only would they need a perfect fight, but they would need us to be a Baron at the time they have a perfect fight, and for them to get Baron too. It just because we're so far ahead, and I don't think there's really much more to discuss on what I do. I did want to talk a little bit about what happens playing TF when your team's behind. So say we are behind, maybe not by the score they're behind, but just say you're behind a significant amount. This is another time when TF can be just so good because once you're behind, if you can have vision on the map, and you can say catch their AD carry when they're trying to farm a camp and they're already half health, you can use that as the jumping point then to force a big objective, like force Baron or force a tower fight, and I don't think there's another champion in the game that can do something like that. For example, say the roles reverse and say that our team was a little bit under and their LeBlanc was really fed, or their Quinn was really fed. And I just saw that their Quinn was randomly backing like this, right? I could instantly just like teleport to them, kill them, and then we could easily force a 45 fight over Baron. Yeah, and I teleport in, and I'm pretty sure the game was over at this point, and I think they surrender right after there, right after that. Yeah, there's the surrender vote coming on. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and close out the video with just a couple just random thoughts and takeaways. Again, I think TF is very good in solo queue because of the fact that, like this game, you know, this game was going pretty even until I think I had 3 ganks bought that each was a double kill, except the one that we only got the one out of it. And all 3 times that I went down there, Eve and Twitch were both there, and they both got they were both a part of, I think, all the kills. And they used that little bit of an advantage to then win their lane and ended up snowballing. You know, that's like this would be, if I was gonna say like what is the perfect reason to play TF, and I would like look at a game like this. But I mean, say there's another game where I would have had an Aurelia top. I always like to play TF in situations where I have like a carry top laner, like an Aurelia, or like a even Nasus isn't too bad, just because it's easy to gank for them because they can start the gank with CC, and then once you get them ahead, it's just one of those things where they're just gonna keep rolling, and they're gonna probably outscale whoever they're playing against top. And again, it's just what it took. It took you missing a wave of farm, maybe. You know, it's just there is a little bit of a trade-off, but the payoff is so huge, and it just, there's not any other champion in the game that you can play mid lane that can really do something like that, unless you play like Pantheon. But I think Pantheon falls off a lot harder than TF does mid. I know this video I talked mainly about like the broader concepts, and maybe if I play one of my main account, I can do one and talk more about lane trading, because I think that was a big part of the video that I wasn't able to do, is talk about like the specific like how to lane trade. I know I touched briefly on it, but so maybe I'll do another one and whenever I'm playing ranked on my main or something. But if anyone has any questions or anything, any comments or whatever, feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer. And that'll be it. So thanks for everyone for watching.